The Knights Templar, formerly known as the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, emerged during the chaotic aftermath of the First Crusade, 1096 to 1099. The crusade had resulted in the capture of Jerusalem by Christian forces, creating new Crusader states in the Middle East. However, the region remained extremely dangerous. Thousands of Christian pilgrims traveled from Europe to Jerusalem each year, often facing robbery, kidnapping, or murder along the routes. Around 1119, a French knight named Hugues de Payens and 8 companions formed a small religious military brotherhood whose purpose was to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Key characteristics of the early order. Members took monastic vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. They lived under a strict religious rules similar to monks. They were also professional warriors, something unusual in medieval Christianity. The group was given quarters on the Temple Mount, believed to be the location of the ancient Temple of Solomon, which inspired the name Templars. The order remained small until it gained powerful support from the Church. A key moment came in 1129 at the Council of Troyes in France. With strong backing from the influential monk Bernard of Clairvaux, the Knights Templar were officially recognized by the Catholic Church. Bernard wrote a famous treatise called In Praise of the New Knighthood, portraying the Templars as holy warriors defending Christianity. After recognition, the order expanded rapidly. Privileges granted by the Church included direct loyalty to the Pope, bypassing kings and bishops, exemption from local taxes, the right to own land across Europe, the ability to collect donations. Because of this, nobles across Europe began donating land, money, farms, castles, entire villages. Within decades, the Templars became one of the most powerful institutions in medieval Europe. Military power in the Crusades. The Templars quickly became elite shock troops in the Crusader armies. Their reputation came from fanatical discipline, refusal to retreat, highly trained heavy cavalry. They fought in many major Crusade battles, including those connected to the Battle of Hattin in 1187, where the Crusader armies were crushed by forces led by Saladin. The loss at Hattin led to the fall of Jerusalem and triggered the Third Crusade. The Templars built a vast network of castles and fortresses throughout the Crusader states, controlling strategic trade routes and border regions. These castles served as military bases, supply depots, defensive fortifications. The Templars become medieval bankers. One of the most remarkable developments in the Templar story was their role in early banking. Because the order had branches across Europe and the Middle East, they created a system that allowed pilgrims to deposit money in Europe and withdraw it in the Holy Land. This worked somewhat like a modern bank. For example, a pilgrim deposited money at a Templar house in France. He received a coded letter of credit. He could redeem the funds at a Templar location in Jerusalem. This reduced the risk of carrying large amounts of gold across dangerous roads. Over time, the Templars began handling money for kings, nobles, merchants, the Church itself. They even managed the royal treasury of France at one point. By the 1200s, the Templars had become one of the most powerful financial institutions in Europe. The beginning of their decline. The order's main purpose was tied to defending Christian territory in the Middle East. That purpose began collapsing in the late 1200s. The final turning point came with the fall of Acre in 1291. Acre was the last major Crusader stronghold in the Holy Land. When it fell to the Mamluks, the Crusader states effectively ended. The Templars withdrew to Cyprus, various European holdings. Without the Crusader states, many European rulers began questioning why the Templars still existed, why they possessed enormous wealth and land. Their power began to attract envy and suspicion. King Philip IV and the destruction of the Templars. The most dangerous enemy of the Templars became Philip IV of France. Philip had a major problem. He was deeply in debt to the Templars. The order controlled huge financial resources and operated almost independently from royal authority. Philip saw an opportunity. On Friday, October 13, 1307, in a coordinated operation across France, he ordered the arrest of all Templars in the kingdom. This event became one of the origins of the superstitions surrounding Friday the 13th. The knights were accused of shocking crimes, including heresy, idol worship, spitting on the cross, secret rituals, corruption. Most historians believe these accusations were fabricated or exaggerated. Many Templars were tortured until they confessed. Dissolution of the order. Under immense pressure from Philip IV, Pope Clement V launched investigations. Eventually, in 1312, the Pope officially dissolved the order at the Council of Vienne. Templar property was mostly transferred to another military order, the Knights Hospitaller. The last Grand Master of the Templars, Jacques de Molay, was imprisoned for years. In 1314, after retracting a forced confession, he was burned at the stake in Paris. According to legend, he cursed both the king and the pope before dying. Interestingly, both Philip IV and Clement V died within the same year, which helped fuel the legend. Legacy and myths. Even though the order was destroyed, the Knights Templar became one of the most mysterious organizations in history. Many legends claim they possessed hidden treasure, the Holy Grail, secret religious knowledge, lost relics like the Ark of the Covenant. However, historians generally find little evidence for these claims. Still, the Templars left a powerful legacy. Development of international banking, influence on later chivalric orders, inspiration for modern myths, novels, and films. They appear in works such as the Da Vinci Code and many historical documentaries. In summary, the Knights Templar rose from a small group of 9 knights protecting pilgrims into a wealthy, transnational military and financial power. Their downfall came from a combination of loss of their original purpose, political jealousy, royal debt and greed, false accusations. Within just 2 centuries, they went from holy warriors to victims of one of medieval Europe's most dramatic political purges.